So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna do a Q&A with myself. And I've done hundreds of podcast interviews, video interviews, and talks and panels and whatnot, and I haven't got asked these questions, and I really want to answer some of these questions because I feel like a lot of these interviews are asking me wrong questions, things that I'm probably not very passionate about or best suited at answering. So first and foremost, what motivates me? I'm motivated by challenges. It's really fun. I find it exciting to have something I'm afraid of or like hard to do, incredibly difficult, and overcoming it. Most of the time it's business challenges, but a lot of them are, you probably can tell from my personality, are personal challenges like skydiving. I came from the fear of heights. I'm still scared to death of spiders. Well, not death, but like still don't like spiders. But like what motivates me is challenges and overcoming those challenges. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that that adrenaline, that high, I can't get anywhere else. Number two is, what's my North Star metric? Ultimately, what I give a crap about, the thing that I'm working my butt off for, is my net worth. I'm looking to grow my network to about 100 million. It's a big number. I actually just doubled the number I wanted to really go after. So 50 million is like a real number, but I want to just, if I'm going to aim, I'm going to aim for something really big. At $100 million, even if I fail to achieve $100 million, even at like 10 million or 5 million, that's still better than what I have the day before and yesterday, last year, 5 years ago. So it's just a big enough number that it makes me focus on the right things that are big opportunities to do. The next question is, how do you start multiple businesses? So I've got 7 companies. It's freaking a lot of work. I didn't start them all at one time though. I started them gradually over time. In fact, the fact of starting multiple businesses came as an accident. In 2015, I started 2, Narrow and what's now Mailshake. And I started both of them because I had an idea. I got a co-founder, technical co-founder for, and then I jumped on Jared's idea, who's my technical co-founder of Narrow.io. And we're like, if it's a new company, there's not much marketing to do, there's not much to do, so might as well do both. And instead of being hands-on day-to-day with myself, we've hired people that can do the day-to-day work. So my involvement is very strategic. Now, of course, I talk to customers and do all this other, forward-facing things, but ultimately, a lot of the day-to-day is handled by people who have a lot more bandwidth and time. So I'm able to handle multiple businesses, 2 in this case, without being the bottleneck. And what we've done is we've acquired most of these companies, and then on the agency side, we have really sharp people. So how I'm able to do this is actually, and that's actually my next question, how are you able to run 2 businesses, or 7 businesses in this case, is one, having really, really smart people on your team that can execute autonomously, and I can provide strategic direction, but for the most part, execution is done by the team. And also knowing what you're really, really good at and hiring for everything else. So my biggest skill is on the strategy. For Ramp Ventures, it's finding deals of companies to purchase, understanding and creating the marketing and growth strategy, and helping others while they execute, not actually executing myself. My execution skills can be beat by a lot of other people. So we hire those people who can really execute, and we coach them and help them and advise them and nurture them to execute our strategies. That's where my biggest asset is. And when you think about the time involved in doing that versus doing everything, it becomes really, really simple and a lot less work. The other thing is that we don't do a lot. None of these companies do we go and try to do everything for everyone. We do very specific things, and it's very deliberate on what can help us grow to our goals. All right, another question I want to ask for myself is, how do you get ahead in your career? Like, how did I get ahead in my career? Hustle. Hustle is the number one thing. There's rules, there's goals, there's things that like are predefined outcomes that you think you fit into a bucket. Like, you need 5 to 7 years of experience to be a manager and a marketing manager. Not really. You need to hustle to be able to get the skill set and experience to be equivalent of 5 to 7 years. I run 7 companies. I guarantee you every year that goes by for me, I gain more than 1 year of technical requirement on a job description. So there's ways to kind of circumvent that. The other thing is working hard, right? Hustle doesn't just mean being smarter, not going by the rules, figuring out different ways to go through it. You have to work hard. I have a friend, Chris Woodard, who's the VP of marketing in a large company here in Austin, and he started off as an entry-level marketer just a few years ago working for me, and he hustled his way. He works 10 to 12 hours days minimum every single day to make sure he could stay ahead. He definitely doesn't have the 7 years experience, but is he able to produce the results of somebody with 7 years? Is he able to execute and think strategically? He sure can, because when you work 12-hour days or even longer, 80-hour weeks or what have you, you'd be surprised how much you can learn in a short, condensed period of time. And the harder you're working, the more you're hustling, you learn and get experience faster. The last thing is, what's the ROI of public speaking? I do a lot of talks. In fact, this year I'll probably do a little over 40, all around the world. And I remember 3 years ago, I was really busting my butt to even get 1, to get 2, to get 3. And now things just kind of fall in my lap. Some of these, actually half, if not a little less than half, are paid. So what's the ROI of this? Like, first and foremost, traveling the world is a lot of fun, but not when you speak, because you still have to be working. And I also have a business, so I still have to do work. It's not like I'm traveling and vacationing all the time. I'm actually working weird hours and attending conferences and being a part of the community that's there and speaking and whatnot. So it's a lot of energy outputted. I could definitely be more productive if I would just stay at my desk in my office and work and crank. Now, the ROI for me is really about the other speakers and the people that attend, the conference organizers, the people of the conference. Why I say the speakers is that every conference I've been to, I've had 1 or 2 conversations with other speakers that have fundamentally changed my worldview, helped me level up or think differently. And those things would take me forever to learn on my own. And combine that with being out of my comfort zone, being in an area where I might not be very familiar with the culture or what have you, especially internationally, we've learned a lot. Like when I went to London and Amsterdam in May, there was through a group that essentially through both conferences and in between, we traveled with a few speakers together. We hung out on the Saturday after our last talk on a boat. We all drank a lot of beers. We hung out. Again, those conversations changed my worldview, adjusted my thinking, and 1 or 2, every once in a while I get gems that like really open up potential opportunities. So those are the questions I wish people ask me. Hopefully that helped you. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or email me at sujitsu@gmail.com, because I'm going to be doing a lot more Q&A videos like this. All right, folks, until next time.